let me introduce myself. Like I'm working marketing and product development for 12 years now. You can see some of the companies I was working for. So the IAB, you probably might have heard of it. It's an interactive advertising bureau headquartered in the US and New York. These 5 circles, you know what it does mean. So Relics is one of the largest UK company, one of the groups which actually owns their leadership in relationship brokerage. What does that mean? It's the company which operates between B2B and B2C markets to fulfill the pipelines for companies for different markets and to let more companies enter the market itself. I was responsible for 20 markets over there. It's a pretty huge company. Well, this T-Bank, I was working for an international project. I was the head of marketing for international expansion of T-Bank, formerly Tinkoff Bank, one of the most profitable digital banks worldwide. And now I'm working for QIC, Qatar Insurance Company. And before I start my saga, I have 3 questions for you. Please raise your hand. Who are marketing people here? Okay, cool. Product people. Okay, well, we see like marketing people are mostly here, product people are there. Okay, and the third one is, well, I might have heard that OKRs, probably not that generic term. So have you ever heard about OKR as a term? Yes. Raise your hand. It's just for me to understand. Okay, so I will give you a sense of it for those who are not aware. So anyway, right? So OKRs, objectives and key results, most important targets that sets for the business for all the teams. And my saga today is how marketing team and the product team could operate without being competitive to each other, but still sharing the same targets, right? So it's almost it's always challenging how to fight for revenues, fight for effectiveness, working with marketing the product side and working for marketing and vice versa without being competitive. So my saga starts once upon a time. Once upon a time, it's actually an example of my early marketing career. The first marketing job that I had was for the leading medical chain. And actually, there's a clear explanation of how different product and marketing teams looked like back then. You can see that people product, right? So the left one is just like people who are on the front line providing products, right? So this specific example is just people like with medical license, right? But whatever we look at the map of the industries, it could be just different people working in the factories and so on. And marketing people, you can see the profile of those people are just completely different. And that explains a lot of the difference between how we were looking at our products, how we were looking at our development and our business. And I was a marketing assistant. And one of my first meetings was at one of the clinics at the huge medical center. And I was the one to represent the marketing function of the company to people who worked in the specific clinic. And you can imagine, what's the attitude was from, literally doctors. When you're trying to explain marketing things to them, and they're just have no idea about what are you talking about, because for them, marketing is just print the handouts. These stickers which you can see on the tables, that's exactly what they think marketing does. And that was pretty stressful. And I think that actually, back then I was thinking, did I actually make the right choice to choose this career? And I think that those marketing people who raise your hand who've ever faced this situation, at early steps, when you try to explain marketing stuff to non-marketing people, and they're just looking at you like, you guys are just spending money. You're not doing things, you're just spending money. And that's a stigma, right? That's the stigma which still exists. Well, I think that the vast majority of the market, whatever, product and marketing industries, back then, 10 years ago, were like that. Until at some point, we all understood that there is something that actually makes us very common, makes us very transparently close to each other, because we both working for people, and there's an audience that actually makes us together. Like that's an audience that we both, if I can say both, right? So not just non-corporate. I'm sorry because we have HR people here, so I need to explain that. I'm not just promoting the separate view of working, and you will see the end of my saga. That's my saga actually is for about the collaboration. So yeah, we have at the center of our orbit for both product and marketing is a user, is an audience. But the difference is that we're looking through that audience through the different lenses. With the product people looking through the technology, usability, interfaces, and so on, how to make that product simple and effective and competitive wise effective. And the marketing people looking through that through the lenses of positioning, acquisition, retention, and so on. And that actually rings the bell a little bit, started to ring the bell of the metrics that we're both using in our work. But there is one more thing that, despite our lenses are different, makes us thinking the same way, because everything that we do about profitability. Because no matter what part of the company no matter which role in the company we're taking, we actually ask from the business to make it effective, right? Both for product and marketing people. We need to deliver results. Otherwise, why we're working there? And to make that profitable, the last years just demonstrated it specifically in the tax market that there is a trend of marketing funnel and product funnel, which actually were, from my perspective, two different terms, integrate each one with another. And the marketing, okay, someone's tea is ready. The marketing funnel just interacts to the product funnel. And now we have just the general funnel, which covers both marketing and product, which from my perspective starts with, of course, something that starts beyond, just outside of the platform of the conversion, our website, application, whatever. I'm just metaphorically asking, mentioning that it is an athlete because it could be whatever, right? It could be an engagement with a brand, with a product outside of the core website. Then we expect for the user after he clicks, we expect him to land to. I'm just recapping maybe for those people who are not marketing people, explain a little bit the funnel. And I guess that it wasn't everyone to raise their hand. So I'm just questioning who are those people. We'll have a chance to network a little bit later. So I'm really curious. So after the user actually landed on the page, we expect for him to instantly to be converted to something that we call a lead or marketing lead, and we need to qualify that lead. What's the difference between marketing lead and qualified lead? And now I'm speaking on behalf of the QIC, I guess, here, because we consider two types of lead, marketing lead and qualified lead, because the marketing lead, from our perspective, is a basic set of data like contact details, email, or phone number, or just one, even without a name. So there is a chance for us to contact this lead afterwards, even if it's not qualified, because qualification of the lead, like from the fintech, I was working for fintech, and that called QIC, QIC calls a little bit different things. But there's something that makes a user, if the first one, the marketing lead, is a demonstration for us that's the user interested enough to be our client, whether the qualified lead is actually, the qualification means that, let me say that very straightforward, if the business actually interested for that client to be his client, because that actually defines the qualification of the lead from the point of including such things like legislation, basic threshold, for instance, age, whatever. Because, for instance, in our insurance company, we're not eligible to convert somebody below 18 to insurance product. So that's where the qualification lead starts. And we expect for them to purchase something on the next step. And you can see the product utilization. I actually prefer utilization instead of purchase, because not all the products are paid. And I'm trying to speak more on the general terms here, because if there's a free trial, for instance, there's nothing that the user should pay for. but it is the utilization. So that's target action that we expect from a user. And number 6 is the repeated purchase, repeated utilization, right? So I think that all of us who works for the tech businesses are not satisfied with just one-time purchase, right? Because for most of us, actually the profit starts from the second or third utilization. So here we go with the 6 general high-level steps of the general funnel. And we expect from a user, to slide from one step to another instantly. But what do you think when we actually speak from the point of marketing and product? Which step do you consider exclusive responsibility for marketing, for instance, here? Does number 1, is it exclusive responsibility of marketing? Who thinks that? Raise your hand. And we'll challenge you. Okay, let me explain. So, from my perspective, when it comes to the ads, product has nothing to do with ads, right? So it's like exclusive responsibility of marketing, isn't it?
No.
No, okay. And I agree with you because for those who believe that there is an exclusive responsibility of marketing, what if I say that the marketing has to work with a product below the average in the market? Like it's just, I don't know, it's just outdated product or a product which doesn't satisfy a need on the market. Marketing has to work with the product, like making advertising and being pushed for that advertising to be not that effective as expected. So we cannot say that effectiveness of the ads are exclusive responsibility of marketing. And the other side, so we're actually the responsibility of product here because like whatever we put our finger on this slide, everywhere is marketing. Nowhere. But it is, for sure. From our perspective, let's start to split those things. Does one company mean one team and one target? So like from referring to the previous slide, it means like if like either everyone is responsible for everything or no one responsible for nothing, right? Well, one company, one team, and there's a message for my HR team. Yes, but there must be something that actually puts rules on this game, right? So in QIC, and I think that's pretty industry standard that we have like these 5 things behind OKRs as the targets on SMART, right? All OKRs, all targets should be transparent, but should be measured, achievable, delivered on time. Metrics, everyone should be, very confident in which metric we're boosting. Every single person in the team, transparency. It refers to more kind of analytics because we need to see if the way how we look at the metrics are transparent because otherwise, we'll just, look at the skies and trying to understand if we're about to deliver our forecast. And those last 2 things, but most important is that despite we have personal responsibility for things, we must play as a cross team because remember our 6 steps, there's like an effect of both teams at the same time. But in our team, we've split those funnel into these 4 things, mapping them with marketing. So it's controversial, right? So just 2 slides back, I told you like there's no exclusive responsibility for the ads click effectiveness, like advertising for marketing. But let's be honest, the vast majority of that responsibility is still on marketing because I think that we agree with you that there's nothing that marketing can do with advertising, but still, marketing is an expert at advertising. So we should take the responsibility for that. And we believe that until the lead is qualified, we cannot guarantee the amount and the quality of those leads that marketing actually requires. And there is a split of things that since we agreed with the previous slide, since we agreed that the first 4 steps are mapped with marketing, we split, of course, those metrics through the function for everyone in the team to see which specific metric he's responsible for. And you can see that, well, there's just a few examples. It's not all the metrics. We're very kind of data-driven and a lot of metrics that we're measuring. Well, for instance, is a reach for influencers and reach for PR, or organic links for SEO, latent cost of acquisition for acquisition, conversion. And the bottom line, you can see that there is a CRM with the abandoned cart effectiveness, return on ad spends for acquisition, penetration for CRM, and so on. By penetration, that's the depth of penetration to the portfolio. So it's the average product per user. So it must, it rings that bell that it's more or less reminds us the standard marketing funnel, right? So it's just the way how it works. And in the most of the companies that we can see on the market, the team OKRs is just, just to explain to those who are not familiar with the term of OKR, right? So it's a responsibility of the team in delivering results is cascaded to everyone in the team. You have to acquire that many lead. You have to attract that much reach. But in our business, we work vice versa. Because, me personally, I don't believe that, although I don't believe in cascaded OKRs, because it's just, something that have a negative motivation. Maybe I'm kind of, affected by the, culturally, I don't know, but, it's just something, the way it's more related to Western type of management, I guess, because we believe that team players should identify his influence and personal role in delivering results. So we expect for everyone in our team to commit to effect, to the team OKR, and to identify the metric he or she can boost. There's an exercise that we do that everyone can help to find the metric, to everyone to see if there, you can imagine how difficult to find the metric for creativity, for designers and content writers, right? It is. It's like always philosophical question, but we actually find that way for people to commit to specific targets, for copywriters to commit to CTR, to cost. Just to remind you, a few OKRs that we had. If you're speaking about the funnel, so it's obviously the marketing funnel here. You can see that, right? So if like the awareness, we remember the influencer part and the PR part, the consideration level, we have to understand that marketing is still responsible for consideration because we are those people who actually make people confident that they're doing the right choice or increasing the understanding of how the product works and its values. But when it comes to conversion, there's like a question, right? Because what if the payment form on the website doesn't work? It's not a part of marketing, right? So it's like always, there's always a trick behind that. Whenever you're trying to think if it's a marketing or product, there is always like both. The fifth and the sixth steps, which actually happens on the product side, inside of the product funnel, so where the form is, or the onboarding form, we believe that the marketing actually can guarantee the number of forecasted effectiveness because of the number and quality of leads. But whenever it happens after, we believe that the product should think over their flows, and marketing can be it's playing a role of consultant here, but the product itself owning the flow. So we believe that the fifth and the sixth steps are for product. And if we step back to our OKRs and the marketing one, you can see that behind there is a product flow conversions because marketing cannot perform the abandoned cart effectiveness if there is no try to get any product in the flow. Marketing cannot deliver the return on ad spends if there were no purchases. And how marketing can attract to make more than one product per user if there was no one like converted to that. So as you can see that like from first of 6 steps, there is always a cross-team play because when it starts through the ads, there is both marketing and product. Product responsible for that as well until the 6th steps. It's always a cross-team play, but how to actually organize that play? In QIC, we believe that our orbits, both for marketing and products, is circling around these tags. First of all, and most important one, is that we need to accept that there's just one marketing team in the company. There's just one high-level product team in the company. So there is no more experts in marketing rather than the marketing team.
There is no more product experts rather than the product team. So it builds a kind of credibility for everyone to understand that product by default should should have a little trust to marketing, at least a little, while the marketing actually cannot. Well, marketing people are. I can't say that. Well, I'm a marketing person, but marketing people sometimes overthink the understanding of technology. That's why marketing people should believe should trust the product teams. Open for ideas, very important. Well, we can consider ourselves experts in our areas, but we shouldn't be arrogant, right? Because, well, there are more people in the team, and there could be actually nice, fresh ideas. So both teams are open for ideas. And of course, test and learn. Test, actually, it's a nice exercise for the trust. If marketing people, well, if mostly product people, don't trust the marketing, there's always an opportunity to test, right? Okay, so we can put like a one-time credibility for the idea to be tested to build that trust. And objectivity. I'm sure that those who are marketing people have ever faced the situation of "I don't like it" comment. I like that sound. Yes, that's always in my heart when it happens. Yeah, we need to maintain our objectivity on place because we, like people, we should have, well, we have a huge set of emotions, but objectivity, what makes the marketing job and the product team jobs, jobs itself. Otherwise, there's just trying to do something like we're in the university. And the most important thing from my perspective, the tension between marketing and product teams, right? So there are two parts here. Objective parts, which are both teams are in the same pots fighting for the same results, but we've just like sorted a little bit those things between the targets. I'm like feeling myself a little bit like on a cruise ships, that always something happens. And actually, the tension between the teams actually appears because of the sense of uncertainty, right? Because marketing people, well, product people, I guess product people don't really understand, not always, don't get it wrong, not always clearly understands the effectiveness of every single step of the funnel and with which result could be achieved in the end. And marketing people don't really explain that because they think that, well, it's obvious. And that uncertainty in the end has an explosion of tension between the teams. And when the competitiveness started, and you cannot work within the team with that certainty. So the thing is that, yeah, it's just about certainty, about the transparency, about the synchronization, alignment, and better understanding the motivation behind both teams. So let me walk you just through two short examples of our campaigns. So because I need to stop telling you something theoretically, let's get to do like a practical exercise here. So for instance, before we started this kind of approach about the centers of expertise, splitting OKRs, we had some campaigns for sure, and all the results were delivered because we're very driven by results. But I must say that when it's inconsistent planning and always which actually resulted with the always urgency sourced by the lack of alignment, there is always a tension in the end. There is one of the examples of the Ramadan campaign last year. Just like note, right? The Ramadan is one of the most important holidays in the Arab region. Despite the business results are done, both teams are burned out and had no intention to work one with another. But the campaign itself was perfect. And it took a lot to build another campaign with more or less the same structure, which we had this year, this summer, Winning Star campaign, with the yearly and monthly planning implemented, which sounds so obvious, right? But it's been aligned planning, which is in the core, had the product development, then slice of marketing, then again, product. So it's like a multi-layer pie of yearly planning, regular communication like alignment, and we resulted with the nice results. Everyone's happy. And I guess that in the end of that huge journey, we have two teams who ready to help and understand which metrics are mapped with one with another and how to source each other, how to catalyze each other. And the question that I have to you is if the marketing approach actually is that pro product, does non-product marketing exist? What do you think? Who believes that yes? Who believes that not?
It does, it's just not effective.
It does, but it's not that effective. I agree, because from my perspective, non-product marketing approach is that marketing works for awareness and consideration, and whatever happens in the conversion step, it's product and it's not our responsibility. It's just two different areas. And I have to say, like, professionally speaking, I'm pretty sure that you all have seen those kind of ads when you can see like perfect ads, fantastic. But you landed on the website and you saw the flow. It's just drastically different. And you can see that the marketing was probably overperformed, over-marketed the product, while the product actually should think over the market and should include into their system of thinking the marketing ideas. And you can see how different the teams are. And you can see that there's definitely no collaborative approach in the business. And we still have, I mean, not in QIC, but I mean in the market, I'm sure that there's a lot of those companies. And I guess it's not that effective, yes. I'm close to an end. And when I was doing this presentation, it was the most intensive part of my getting driver license here situation. And I was thinking that actually, well, I don't know if you guys have ever passed through that. You need to learn a lot about the theory then, to dive into practical things and so on. But the theory is a nightmare to me. I can speak hours about that. So I have a topic for networking. So I was thinking that the metaphor of the car aging explains actually the pure marketing and product collaboration, because the aging, I'm just pretty confident what I'm saying because it's like been 2 weeks ago, the aging is sourced by the fuel, while there is an oil inside of the engine for that fuel to be processed properly and to give an engine. So from my perspective, marketing here is a fuel, while the product team is an oil that makes that fuel working for the engine for car to be driven. No one serves anyone. That's actually the bottom line of my presentation. We are meant to drive together. Thank you.